So in this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step exactly how you can create your own social media marketing plan for your business, just like this one up here. So keep watching and I'll show you how. So it's super important to have structure when it comes to your marketing, and it really helps to visualize exactly what type of things you're going to be posting, what content it is specifically you're going to be posting, on which platforms, how that's going to come out to your audience. And we're also in this video going to talk a little bit about how you might want to think about setting up your marketing plan. So I'm going to use a free software called Trello. It's super easy to use, and it also comes in an app version as well, which is really handy because you can use it across multiple devices in real time. You can use, of course, a Excel spreadsheet or Google Sheets, which would also work well, but I found that this is the best solution. So the idea with Trello is that you can create different lists and cards within those lists in a very visual way. So bear with me, you'll find out exactly what I mean very shortly. How you create your plan, it can be very simple or very complex depending on how you want to do it, but the free version of Trello will actually allow you to do quite a lot of complex things, which is cool. Now, the beauty of this is that you can see things in a day-to-day, week-to-week, or month-to-month format, depending on how well you want to be organized. And this saves a heap of time, anxiety, and rushing around trying to scramble content together. You don't have to do any of that with this. So we're going to dive straight in, and I want to show you exactly what Trello kind of looks like. So this is a blank card. Now, sorry, this is a blank board. So you're going to be using a Trello board. So essentially, this is just a blank board that I've created just to show you what it looks like. And you can change the colors if you want to. If you just go to show menu up here, you can change the background. Now, I've uploaded my own custom one. I like it to be black. If you don't want it to be black, if you want a different color, you can do. So for example, if you want it to be, purple or pink or something that go in, blue that goes in with your brand, that's cool, but I just prefer black. That's just kind of how I see things. So I'm going to keep it black, and I'm going to teach you how to essentially populate this to make your own plan. So without further ado, we will jump straight in. So to create a board, you're going to want to go to here. I've made some different boards here in preparation for this video. You're going to be using one singular board to create your plan. Okay, so the very first thing that I've done is I have created a to-do list. And if I just click into this board, you can see here it's got a banner at the top, which I've just literally dragged from my desktop into here, and then it populates it as a cover. And I've input my kind of to-do list on a daily, weekly, and monthly schedule. Now, how I've done that is I've gone for checklists up here. I've wrote in weekly, for example, and I've pressed add, and at the bottom it allows me to then make different lists, and I can tick it off if I want to once I've done it. So obviously I don't need this list. I'm going to delete that checklist there. And as you can see, this is my to-do list. So whatever I want to do daily, weekly, or monthly, you can see that's populated in here. Okay, the next thing that I've done is I have added what's called my hub and then my misc, or miscellaneous. So with my hub, what I want to do is I want to have an area where I put all of my content or my ideas for my content. I also want to have somewhere that I can just jog my memory as to what posts that I can put out and what types of posts, and also the same with the platforms. So what platforms am I actually going to use to post my content? So I'm going to dive into the very first one up here, and I'll show you exactly how I've made this in a second. So what I've done is, again, I've dragged an image from my desktop into here. These banners are 6000 px by 200, I think, so they're very kind of rectangular. And what I've done is, again, I've made different checklists down here, and I'm going to walk you through these really quickly just to give you an idea about what types of posts that you might want to put out. So first one is education. So really what we want to be doing is we want to be adding value to our audience, and we want to be giving them value all the time. It should be a really good account to be following, your account. And we want to be making sure that we give value all the time. So we want to be producing quite a lot of educational content if we can. So for example, why would you be strength training? 5 benefits of having a personal trainer. How long should you squat for? The ultimate fat loss formula. So for example, I've kind of used these, and I'm going to show you that I've used them in a second. And once I've used them, I've ticked them off. So because I don't really want to be posting the same thing in the same month, I might repost it a month or 2 down the line. But if I've used it, I'm going to just pop it on here and put the tick in the box. The next element is an engagement post. So this type of post is a post where you want to be asking your audience to engage with your content. So whether that's drop a comment, whether that's DM you, or like it, that's the type of thing that we want to be doing with engagement posts. We want to be having them do something on that particular post, so interact with it. So whether that's asking them what their favorite low calorie snack is, or what their favorite cheat food is, for example. With a conversions are really really helpful for us, and they have to be in there because we're running a business. So a conversion post is something where we're selling ourselves. We're asking someone to buy from us, essentially. So we don't want to put too many of these in the same week or the same month, but we want to make sure that they are in there somewhere, because we want to let people know that, oh, okay, this person sells this product, and this is essentially what we want to do. So for example, it might be, we've got a 12-week shred start today, comment below, DM me to get started, something along those lines. For example, 3 taster sessions going before 9 p.m. tonight, comment below if you'd like one. And that gets the engagement up, and obviously gets your audience to take action in terms of, either purchasing your services or trying your services. So conversions are really important. Another one we can use is how it works, so how things work. So it's a good idea to give your audience an insight as to how things work for your business, or how things work for them in terms of if they got started with you. So for example, how to get started with personal training. What do you need to get started? What is the mindset you might need, for example? How does the onboarding process kind of work with you as the trainer? For example, same with nutrition. And here's, for example, how we nail your nutrition plan down. These are just like some examples of which you can absolutely steal all these. We've then got a testimonial post. So this is really good for social proof, and social proof is someone in real life who has tried your services and had success, essentially. And we want to let people know that that's exactly what's happened. So they might know that person, or they can see that someone in real life has experienced benefits from working with you and have achieved a really good result. So for example, that could be a before and after picture of your client, which is most impactful. We see these all the time. These are really helpful. It could be, for example, an epic picture of your client mid-set, or the number one thing that's helpful is a video testimonial of your clients in a kind of selfie style. That works really well, and it's really kind of it's real, essentially. So these things are really good, and you should definitely have at least one of these a month, I would say, if you can get them. We've then got behind the scenes. So this might be something that you kind of just drop in as and when. Might not be something that you do all the time. So you might want to show funny snippets of your life, maybe a client's program that you've been creating, or a day in the life of either yourself or your client, for example. So that might be something that you might want to look at as well. A good one as well, and the last one that we've got on the list here, is awareness. So for example, if what we want to do with awareness is have your audience be aware of exactly what you do, and aware of potentially who you are and the services that you can offer. So a PT profile might be quite good, where you can just say how old you are, what you like to do, your favorite exercise, what you do in your spare time, that sort of thing. Another one might be 5 non-negotiables that you have in place for your clients. So the stuff that they have to do whilst they're working with you, that can create an awareness of what they actually need to be your client and what the expectations are. So that can be really helpful as well. So these are the types of content which you might create. We then have the types of posts. So again, I've made a checklist here, and really simple. I've put types of posts. So these can be either a single post. So for example, if we're talking about Instagram and Facebook, which are the most popular, you're going to have one single post. This is going to be one page. Okay, so there's no flicking through or video to watch with this one. It's just a single post. We then have multiple single posts in the same post, or same. So you can have multiple pages rather in the same post, which is a carousel, and you can have up to 10 pages in a carousel, and these can be really helpful if you're showing, for example, a step-by-step process, or if you're giving multiple points for things. Let's say you had 3 steps to achieve fat loss in 2 weeks, for example, or a certain amount of fat loss in 2 weeks. You might want to put, stage 1 is a page, stage 2 is a page, and stage 3 is a page, for example. We've then got video. So obviously these might need some adjusting or some editing. You might want to put some captions on these, which are really helpful for individuals. And this is IGTV on Instagram. So if this is over 60 seconds, this is going to be a video, or classed as a video. We then have a reel. So reels are less than 60 seconds in length, and generally are quite snappy. They're something that stands out for your audience. It's something that is fast moving. So reels are really good. They do take a little bit of editing, but they are really impactful as well. So consider using those. And of course, we've got stories, and stories are very important. Stories are really good for interaction. So you can use polls, you can use questions, quizzes, and they're really good to keep your clients and your audience engaged with what you're up to and what you actually do in your day. And it's really good for social proof as well, because you can show your clients working, and you can actually show the process happening in front of them. And so much of being a successful PT is not being the best, having the best form or anything like that. It's who can shout the loudest and who's got the best shout about what they're doing, if that makes sense. So use those stories to your advantage. And as a rule of thumb, you should be updating your story at least 3 or 4 times a day. And you've got to be consistent with it. Otherwise, if it's in and out, it just kind of won't work. So you do have to be consistent with it if you can. We then have platforms, and I haven't put a checklist in here, but I'm going to do that just to show you. So platforms to use. So different platforms. Obviously, we've got Facebook, we've got Twitter, Instagram. You could also have MailChimp if you are building an email list and sending emails out. So I'm just going to leave those 4 there. These are the main ones that people will generally use. You might also want to use YouTube if you want to create a YouTube channel. That's absolutely fine. And there we go. So we've got an idea now, really, about what content we want to post. We've got some ideas where we're going to post it and on which platform. So for example, I'm going to post some educational content via a reel on Instagram. Or for example, I'm going to post some, let's have another example. I'm going to post a testimonial in a video format, and I'm going to post that on Twitter, for example, or Instagram. So I'm going to show you exactly how we put that into a visual format for all the different posts in a second, so bear with me. The next card that I've got across here is a miscellaneous card, so maybe just something to jog your memory. Maybe you might put some planning stuff in here. Maybe it's just something that maybe you wanted to add your own list, which is absolutely cool. I've got my logo in here, Luke Michaels, personal trainer. Obviously, this is someone made up, but you can see that it's all in the same branding. I've got my brand colors here, and I'm going to try and keep it that way, just because I kind of like how it looks with the blue and the yellow. So I've got a little reminder here for me. So create once, post everywhere. So this is a reminder for me to create a piece of content. And I'm only going to create it once, or maybe have a couple of variations of it. I'm going to post it on all the different platforms that I can and get it out there in all different platforms. And I'm going to do that everywhere. So create once, post everywhere is the key with this. So I'm now going to just show you a little bit about the actual plan itself and how you might go about creating that. Okay, so as you can see here, I have added week 1 of my marketing plan to this particular board. And as you can see, I've got week 1, I've got the date that or the dates of that particular week, and I've also added my very first post into here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through how I've actually done that and the steps that I've taken to pop this in. So I'm going to add another card in here, and I'm going to call it week 2. Add list, and then from there I'm going to add one of my title banners, which is week 2. I'm going to just drag that from my desktop into the list itself, and then I'm going to rename that week 2, and the second week of October is, let me just check my calendar, it's going to be the 10th to the 16th. So it's going to be week 2, Oct 10 to 16. So we know exactly kind of what dates we're going to be working with. That didn't save properly. Yes, it did. Not sure why that's not changed. Because I put it in the description. That's why. Always worth checking. Must be doing something wrong. There we go. So fab. I'm just going to nick the emoji that I've put in there and stick it on here, because that's just the way I like things to look the same. There we go. Perfect. So I've got my week 1 and week 2 banner sorted. I'm then going to drag another one of my posts that I've created on Canva from my desktop into here. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to drag another one that I've made called, it's going to be called a testimonial post. So I'm going to drag that into here, and this is going to populate one of my posts for week 2. And from here, I'm going to just call that, for example, I'm going to call this one post, for example, post 4, because I'm anticipating that I'm going to do more posts in week 1. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go on labels. Now, I've added a bunch of labels in here, and the reason I've done that is because I want to have a picture in my mind as to what type of content is it. Well, in this case, it's a testimonial. What type of post am I going to what type of post am I going to create? Is it going to be a video? Is it going to be a story? Is it going to be a reel? Well, in this case, it's going to be just a single post with some captions and some pictures. And on what platform am I going to put it on? So, for example, it's going to be a single post. This is this is a testimonial, and I'm going to put it on Facebook, and I'm going to put it on Instagram. Okay, so these are my labels. Now, as you can see, if I just hop back a second, you can see now that these are now attached to this particular post. So I know exactly what it is, what type of content it is, where I'm going to post it, and what type of, whether it's a video, whether it's a single post, for example. Now, also, while I remember, I'll tell you how to make these labels. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go on create new label, and I'm going to put just a new label in here. I'm going to pick which color it is. I'm going to pick like a black one here, and I press create, and then that will come back down here as a new label. Now, what you can do is you can we'll keep that off. So I'm going to just delete that label there. Don't really need that. You can delete that one. So if I just press in here, that will minimize and maximize the profiles here, and you can see those. So You may have noticed I've got some emojis. So all I've done is I've pasted them into my notes, and I've just copied them over. It's dead simple. I just like things to be nice and visual. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to populate this with all the different posts, different types of posts, different types of content, and on the different platforms that I'm going to create, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so as you can see, I have populated weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4 with some different posts and different content that I'm going to be creating and putting out there onto my social media. So as you can see, I've got my first one all set up here. My second one is mostly set up, and I'll show you exactly how I've gone about that just now. So this is a single post, it's a conversion post, and I'm also going to just add my labels, Facebook, and I'm going to put it on Instagram as well. And as you can see here, I've also got a due date on here. So how I've done that is I've gone with dates. I've gone with pop a date in here, so whichever date you want to post it, and obviously you've got a time here, and then just click save. Now that will produce a little clock down here in the left hand side of the individual card. Now, as and when you have, for example, posted it, or maybe you've used Facebook Creator Studio to post it in advance, you can then put a tick in here to say that it's not overdue anymore and that you've actually actioned that post. So as you can see here, I've got quite a good assortment of different types of posts, different types of content. So I've got engagement, I've got education, I've got conversion here, I've got a bit more education, I've got some awareness, I've got a testimonial, I've got another conversion post here. So you can see that I've got 2 conversion posts within the month. We don't want to have too many. I've got a reel here that's more about awareness, and I've got a single post about education. So as you can see here, I've got a really good blend of different types of content and different types of posts within that content, and obviously using the platforms that I use, which is Facebook and Instagram as well. So as you can see here, pretty good assortment of things that I can use, and I'm obviously going to populate these with the different dates. So as you can see here, this is the second week of October. So I'm going to go with dates. It could be October, so second week there is going to be, for example, the 10th. Post that around 3 o'clock and save that. And then once I've posted it, or I've scheduled it to be posted, I'm going to click here so I know that has been actioned and that it's going to be on its way to go out. So that is a very simple way of setting up your own social media plan. If you want, really easy to do. On Trello, you can use, as I said, you can use different means if you want to use an Excel spreadsheet, or if you want to use Google Sheets or something like that, you can absolutely do that. However, I would say that this is very much the best way to go about things. If you want any more guidance around setting your own social media plan, marketing plan, if you want to make sure that you're targeting the right type of people for your fitness business, then you need to make sure that you get in touch and you ask for that help. So equally, if you want a copy of this because it works as a template, just make sure you let me know and I can send it across to you. And obviously you populate it with your own brand and your own identity and the stuff that you want to talk about on your socials. Thanks very much for listening. Hope it's been informative and helpful, and speak to you soon.